Welcome to Family Historian version 5. In this short tutorial I'd like to talk a little bit about plugins. These were introduced in version 5 and allow users to provide more complex code than was available before to do all sorts of different jobs with Family Historian. From simple ones such as giving you a surname list, or more complex ones such as mapping locations or fixing data import problems from other programs. To start with, the best thing to do is to go to the Tools menu and click on Plugins. This is the plugin window. When you go there for the first time, your plugin list will be empty. As you can see on my development system, there are plenty of plugins already available. As a new user, you'll start with the window looking like this, with the More button here. Most of the time you won't need to worry too much about the More button. You'll simply click the one you want to run and click the Run button. But at the moment, as you have none, what we need to do is to go and visit the plugin store and find some to load. This is the plugin store at Family Historian. What you can see here are a few currently featured plugins, and over on the right hand side you can browse all the plugins, have a look to see what other people are downloading, and view any plugins that you've submitted yourself, but we're not going to go into that in this tutorial. So where I'd suggest you start is perhaps let's have a look at Search and Return Results Set. This is very similar to the Contain Text query, but basically it will let you search for all sorts of useful information. So if we click on it, it will then take us to a window which shows the plugin details, any changes that have been made. Some plugins, because they've got an interface, will also display a list of what the various fields are, and if anybody's rated it, it will do so there. What we're going to do now is download the plugin, and depending on what version of your browser that you use, in this case I'm using Chrome, when I click download now, it will pop up down the bottom, or it will pop up a window and say, do you want to save it? So that's installed that plugin, or at least that's downloaded it to the PC ready for install. So if we double click it, Family Historian will come up and say that you really need to take care. And this is true, you do need to take care with plugins because you can never be sure what they're going to do. If you're not sure or you don't trust them, don't download them. Okay, and what it's done, it's installed that plugin on my computer. So what I can do now, if I go back to Family Historian, I can jump down and Search and Return Results Set is there available for me. So what I can do now is I can run that, and as you see we've now got a window the same as the one that we saw earlier when we were reviewing the plugin. So what I can do here is I can do a quick search for Dowling. I can do all sorts of fancy things. I can say where I want to search, whether I want to search case sensitively. That might be useful if you're looking for HSBC or something and you know it's going to be in capital letters. Okay, now what that's done is that's returned our result set. So here are the three Dowlings. What it's done here, you see, is actually picked up a little note. So if I just bring that back, that's actually a multimedia object, and it's just got that name in. So anything that's got that information in, you can jump to it. And what you'll also see is these fields are black. Now this is again another thing which is new on version 5, and what it means is that you can take these individuals and double click on them, and because that's a name field, it'll open up the property box and put you on the right field. That's new in version 5, and that works both with result sets from plugins and with standard queries. So if you're working through correcting data, this is a great way to jump around your file. So if we return to our plugins again, what we can say is that that's a really useful plugin. So what we can do now is we can go back to our Search and Return Results Set plugin, hit the More button, and there's an option down here that says Add to the Tools menu. So if I want to use that plugin a lot, I can click the Add to Tools menu, I can shut this one down, and now on my Tools menu is Search and Return Results Set. And again we can see the search box, we can enter Monroe, click on the OK button, and then we can go ahead and display the results. We've now returned to the focus window. What I'd like to do now is to show you another plugin. So again, these can be downloaded from the plugin store. So what we're going to do is have a very quick look at Map Life Events. As you can see, this is one that I've written. Useful information here, you've got map a person's locations, you've got the author's name, the version number, and when it was last updated. You can always compare this information with the information on the website for the plugin store and see whether you need to download and upgrade. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run this little plugin. It says, do you want a quick view of the current record? If you're going to do a lot of mapping, then you can use create the pages for everybody. And there's also a more advanced version of this that will allow you to do all sorts of clever things with locations and geomapping, which you can find in the plugin store. So for now, we're just going to do a quick view of the current record. Here's a map of locations. So what you'll see here is where the children were born, and you'll also see when they died, but obviously because there's no death location for this one, you're not able to do that. But what you can do, we can click on the birth, and as you can see here, Janet was born in Bristol, so if we click on that field, it will jump us over. If we zoom in, this is standard Google mapping, you'll be able to see exactly where the location was. So that's a really simple plugin that can be used with any data, and at any time you can save that away or you can share that, and that will work. So that's just another plugin. And as you can see, there are lots of available plugins now, and it's well worth experimenting with the plugin store to see if any of them are of use to you.